Approaching Krishna, the all-pervading truth. Let's read the Sanskrit. Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya
Danaya cha
Nandagopakumaraya
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda and other cowherd men of Vrindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. So these are the prayers of Queen Kunti. And Queen Kunti is considered one of the greatest devotees of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada says, the Lord being thus unapproachable by any material assets. So you cannot bribe the Lord with some material assets. Look, I am doing something for you. You cannot bribe him like that. He is not approachable by any material assets. But however, the Lord, out of unbounded and causeless mercy, descends onto earth as he is in order to show his special mercy upon his unalloyed devotees. So this is his kripa, his mercy that he comes to us. But we have to be unalloyed. Alloy means mixing some material to iron is called alloy. Zinc alloy, chromium alloy. So when you add chromium, it becomes stainless steel. So unalloyed means no kind of alloy. To diminish the upsurges of demoniac persons. So demoniac people have this nature, tendency once in a while to jump up and create some problems for others. So that tendency will be diminished by the Lord himself. So Queen Kunti specifically adores the incarnation or descent of Lord Krishna above all other incarnations. Because in this particular incarnation, he is more approachable. So Krishna is more approachable according to Queen Kunti. In the Rama incarnation, he reminded a king's son from his very childhood. He remained. But incarnation of Krishna, he was the son of a king. He at once left the shelter of his real father and mother, King Vasudeva and Queen Devaki, just after his appearance, and went to the lap of Yashodamai to play the part of an ordinary cowherd boy. So as a cowherd boy, Krishna is very reachable. He is very easy to approach. So where is he? In the blessed Vrajabhumi, which is very sanctified because of his childhood pastimes. Therefore, Lord Krishna is more merciful than Lord Ram. See, such a big statement Prabhupada makes. Lord Krishna is more merciful than Lord Ram. He was undoubtedly very kind to Kunti's brother Vasudeva and the family. Had he not become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, Queen Kunti could not claim him to be her nephew and thus address Krishna in parental affection. So you can approach Krishna in parental affection, that is Vatsalya Bhav. Normally there is Santa Bhav, Dasya Bhav, like in ISKCON we promote Dasya Bhav. That's why everybody is a servant. So we are promoting Dasya Bhav in this, our organization. But Nanda and Yashoda are more fortunate because they could relish the Lord's childhood pastimes, which are more attractive than other pastimes. There is no parallel to his childhood pastimes as exhibited at Vrajabhumi, which are the prototypes of his eternal affairs in the original Krishna Loka, described as Chintamani Dham in the Brahma Samhita. Lord Sri Krishna descended himself at Vrajabhumi with all his transcendental entourage and paraphernalia. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirmed that no one is as fortunate as the residents of Rajbhumi, and specifically the cowherd girls, the gopis, who dedicated their everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. His pastimes with Nanda and Yashoda and his pastime with cowherd men, and especially with the cowherd boys and the cows, have caused him to be known as Govinda. Govinda. Lord Krishna as Govinda is more inclined to the Brahmanas and the cows, indicating thereby that human prosperity depends more on these two items, namely Brahminical culture and cow protection. So Brahminical culture and cow protection. Cow protection is very important. That's what our temple management is trying to do at the farm. Brahminical culture and cow protection. Brahminical culture is basically setting up of these temples, training the Brahmanas to do deity worship. That's it. I mean, that's what ISKCON is doing, right? Primarily Brahminical culture and cow protection. And then this whole Varnashrama, so that people go move on to the farms and conduct cow protection. Lord Krishna is never satisfied where these are lacking. Very, very big statement, right? America is such a big country. Lot of things are happening, but where is Lord Krishna satisfied? Only where cows are protected. Other places, he doesn't care that much. Very, very powerful statement. Lord Krishna is never satisfied where these are lacking. So the key points here are, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, residents of Rajabhumi are superior to that of Dwarka or any other place. In the rural setting, not high skyscrapers, right? Rural setting, where the gopis are playing with Krishna and the cows. So very, very simple setting. You have cows, you have chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. That's it. That's where Krishna will come and reside. Other places, he doesn't care. Do you think he'll go into a tall building in Chicago and care about anything? No. Krishna himself is satisfied by a rural setting, means like a village-like setting. So that's the message for us. What are we going to do? If we continue till the point of death in an urban setting, we will not go back to Godhead. Guaranteed. Whoever has gone back to Godhead has gone back in a rural setting. Like there is one sannyasi who went back to Godhead sitting on the Vyasasana giving Srimad Bhagavatam class. And he passed away. So where do you think he went? He went straight to Krishna Loka. Gaur Govinda Swami. When Prabhupada saw him, he didn't give him first initiation, he didn't give him second initiation. Straight he gave him sannyas initiation. He said, you are so qualified. And Gaur Govind Maharaj, as he was giving the class on Srimad Bhagavatam, he passed away on the Vyasasana. He was like talking about Krishna. This is what he said in Srimad Bhagavatam. Done. He just left his body. Talking about Krishna in a temple. How many people are so fortunate? Most people will die in a hospital with nurses putting this pipe on in the mouth, in the nose, here, there. That is not a good death. It's a horrible death, actually. So devotees especially should stay away from hospitals. It's better to die in a temple rather than die in a hospital. Or die in a rural setting, die amongst the cows, chanting Hare Krishna. In the beginning of our prayers, Kunti Devi said, Namasye Purusham Twadhyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param. I offer my obeisances unto the person Purusha, who is the Prakrite Param, beyond the material manifestation. Prakriti means like the material manifestation. Param means beyond. That's why you say Paramatma, means beyond our Atma, the super soul. Thus, in the beginning, Kunti Devi gives us the understanding that God is the supreme Purusha, the supreme person. That's what it is there in Brahma Samhita, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. It is not impersonal. He's a person, but he's not a person of this material world or this material creation. And he does not have a material body. So even though Krishna descended and people thought he's just like a, 6 foot, no, actually he was 8 foot tall, 8 foot tall human, but his body is not material. Very few people realize that. Kunti Devi realized, Bhishma Deva realized, Yudhishthira Maharaj realized. Very few people realized Krishna's position. Right? What does Arjuna say? Oh, Vasudeva, I played with you like a friend. Right? Deva Deva Jagatpate, he says in Bhagavad Gita. I played with you like a friend. I thought you were an ordinary cousin. Right? Rishte say he was just like a cousin. This is to be understood. The poor fund of knowledge held by the impersonalists cannot accommodate how the supreme absolute truth can be a person. But whenever they think of a person, they think of a person in the material world. This is the problem with the Muslims. They say, oh, how can God have a material body? Well, God doesn't have a material body. It appears like that to you. And that's why you think he is material and he is normal human. That is their defect. And then a lot of Mayavadi Hindus also have this defect. They think God cannot be a person. God has to be some kind of energy. There is not much difference between a Muslim and a Mayavadi Hindu. Both of them think God cannot have a body. A Vaishnava Hindu will know that God can have a body. That's the difference. Therefore, in the beginning, Kunti Devi cleared away this misunderstanding by saying that Lord is Prakrite Param, beyond the material creation. Yet he is a person. And now by the grace of Kunti, we can understand that this Supreme Person, although Alakshyam, invisible, now visibly appeared as Krishna. Alakshyam, invisible becomes Lakshyam or visible. Kunti Devi says Krishnaya Vasudevaya. The word Vasudeva is sometimes understood to mean all pervading. Means he is everywhere. That means Vasudeva. The impersonalists or the Mayavadis have the conception of Vasudeva, and therefore Kunti Devi points out that Vasudeva, the all pervading, is Krishna. So Kunti Devi makes this very, very important statement. She says, everybody says that this all pervading, Bhagavan is everywhere, right? That all pervading nature is Krishna. So it is not just energy, but a person. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridayeshe arjuna tishtati. So Hrida means Hridayam, means the heart. So Ishvara sarva bhutanam, he is there in every living entity. And he is in the heart of everyone. So that person who is in the heart of everyone is Krishna. And at the same time is all pervading, because you have billions and billions of souls, and in heart of every one of them is the super soul. Krishna, the original person, exists in three features. This is Srila Prabhupada talks about this in many places. All pervading super soul, the Brahman effulgence, then there is Paramatma in the heart and Bhagavan in the abode, his abode. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti Bhagavan iti sabdyate. Srimad Bhagavatam Shloka says that there are three ways, three phases in which you can understand God. Brahman, all pervading, means everywhere. Paramatma, who is just in one local position in the heart. And Bhagavan is in his own planet, spiritual world. Those interested in Bhakti Yoga have no interest in the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Those interested in Bhakti Yoga have no interest in this all-pervading Brahman. Effulgence means like a light, brightness, which is for common men, Srila Prabhupada says. If one were an inhabitant of the sun, what interest would he have in the sunshine? That is natural, that is just insignificant for him. Because you're already living on the sun, a little bit of sunshine light is not much value, you have so much there. Similarly, those who are advanced in spiritual life are not interested in the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Rather, they are interested in Purusha, the Supreme Person, Vasudeva. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, this realization of the Supreme Person takes place after many, many births. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sadurlabaha. Bahunam janmanam ante. That's why we are all taking many births. And even in this birth, we are not very serious. So we'll take a few more births to go back to Godhead. And Krishna himself realizes, right? I mean, it is so difficult for people to absorb this knowledge. So, if by now we are not fully convinced, which means we are taking birth again. Fully convinced means you leave everything and you just go in that line. But we are not. We are still so attached to our homes, our families, which means some more lives are left. Not possible. That level of renunciation or giving up hasn't happened with us. So we'll take a few more births. Bahunam means many births. After many births, what do? You come to the platform that Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Vasudeva is everything. Samatma Sadurlabaha. Krishna says Durlab. Durlab means rare. Such a Mahatma is very rare, he's saying. Krishna is saying. So now we have to think. Why is it that I'm unable to really come to that platform? By the grace of devotees like Kunti Devi, we can understand that the all-pervading absolute truth Vasudeva is present as Krishna. Krishnaya Vasudevaya. This realization of Vasudeva is not possible for impersonalists. Impersonalists means people who don't think God is a person. There are many of them like that. Most of the world is impersonalist actually. Only few people are personalists who will understand God as a person. So this is the verse that I recited earlier. Okay, let's repeat after me. Bahunam janmanamante
Bahunam janmanamante
jnanavamma prapadyate
jnana vamna prapadyate
Vasudeva sarvamiti
Vasudeva sarvam iti
samahatma sadurlabha.
sahamatma sadurlabaha.
After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Word Mahatma means broad-minded. One who cannot understand Krishna is not broad-minded, but cripple-minded. If one becomes broad-minded, then by the grace of Krishna, one can understand Krishna. So first we have to become broad-minded, then Krishna's kripa will come, and then we can understand Krishna. Right now we don't. Because if we did, then we would not be doing what we are doing. We would give up everything. So we don't right now understand or attempt to understand Krishna. But slowly, hopefully, before we die, we'll understand. If not, then next lifetime and the following lifetime, like that. Krishna is not going anywhere. He's still there. We are not going anywhere. We are going to take birth again and again. And then Srila Prabhupada says the process of understanding Krishna is sevon mukha, by rendering seva. Sevon mukha hi jihvado. Realization of Vasudeva is possible by rendering seva, service, beginning with the tongue. The tongue has two functions: to vibrate and to taste. So if one repeatedly hears and vibrates the Hare Krishna mantra and tastes prasada, food offered to Krishna, by this simple method, one will realize Vasudeva Krishna. Krishna will reveal himself. But then you may say, Arey Baba, 10 years I've been eating prasadam, nothing's happening. So what is the answer? Why is it, even though we are eating prasadam for so long, why is nothing happening? Jayapal Prabhu?
No, break.
Prabhuji, your voice is breaking, Prabhuji.
Yeah, what can I do? Internet quality is low.
Nothing can be done. Please controlling the screen.
Let me close all these unneeded windows. So, Jayapal Prabhu, why although we are eating prasadam for so long, why are we unable to still surrender to Krishna?
Because we are not fully convinced.
And why is that so?
Why means I don't know, Prabhuji. I mean,
Because
of anarthas, because of
Yeah, anarthas. So, okay, but why do we have anarthas?
material conditioning for like millions of
Yes,
lifetimes.
yes. That is the answer. Because you cannot say, Arey, I'm so bad. No, you don't have to cry like that, because this is not coming from one lifetime. This is coming from many lifetimes, this conditioning. So that conditioning will not go away so quickly. It will take time. So we have to be patient in getting that conditioning off. Different people have different conditioning. Some people like to play golf. What is there? A small ball that you are hitting. Some people like to play volleyball. What is there? A ball that you are hitting. And for that, they waste so many years of their life. Some people like to play tennis. What is there? Just hitting a ball. So this kind of conditioning, different people have different anartha. For somebody it is tennis, somebody it is volleyball, somebody it is football, somebody it is playing cards. So those conditioning are preventing us from moving forward. Even after coming into devotional life, that conditioning is, troubling us actually. I want to do something, but my past conditioning is actually dragging me down. So then what is the solution? What is the solution? Gopal? Maybe Gopal didn't join today. Okay, back to you, Sheshidev. So what is the solution?
Solution to cleanse the contamination, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Chetu Darpan Marjanam.
Yeah, I know. That is the statement by Sri Chaitanya
If there's
Mahaprabhu, but how are you going to do it?
chanting, devotional service.
Yeah, that is very slow though.
Yeah.
If you have cancer in the body, will you say, okay, slowly every week I'll go and cut one small portion off?
No. Chemotherapy, surgery.
Yeah, surgery. So similarly, we have to quickly act. In the book Mana Shiksha, the Acharya says that we all have these anarthas in us. So we have to get out of these anarthas. What can we do? If we don't, then we'll be in trouble. So we start with the eating prasadam and chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. That's what is coming down to the paragraph that we just discussed. And it will take time. So you can let prasadam slowly act over a period of 40-50 years, or you say, okay, now I'll make a change in my life and do something quicker. Otherwise, the slow way will take a long time. Long time. Then Srila Prabhupada gives the $1 million point. Krishna is very much anxious to take us back home. But we are stubborn and do not wish to go. We are stubborn. We don't want to go. He is always looking for an opportunity to take us back home. He is just like an affectionate father. When a son who is a rascal leaves his father and goes loitering in the street with no food and no shelter and suffers very much, the father is always anxious to bring the boy back home. Similarly, Krishna is the supreme father, and all living entities within the material world are exactly like misled children of a wealthy man who have left home to loiter in the street. Therefore, the greatest benefit one can bestow upon one's fellow human being is to give him Krishna consciousness. No kind of material profit will satisfy the living entity, but if he's given Krishna consciousness, he will actually be satisfied. So our job is to give Krishna consciousness to others. But we ourselves are growing old, right? So you can do your best. You cannot, because by the time you become fully Krishna conscious, the whole life may be finished. But you give whatever little you know. You have to. Otherwise, your Krishna consciousness will not grow. When you give, it grows. When you hoard it or keep it tight onto yourself, then it will not grow. So Prabhupada says, a bewildered boy loitering in the street may be reminded, my dear boy, why are you suffering so much? You are the son of a very rich man who has so much property. Why are you loitering in the street? And if he comes to understand, yes, I am the son of the important man, why shall I loiter in the street? Then he may return home. Therefore, the best service is to inform those who have forgotten Krishna. You are a part and parcel of Krishna. You are the son of Krishna, who is full in all opulence. Why are you rotting in this material world? This is the greatest service. What is the greatest service? Inform those who have forgotten Krishna. Actually, we cannot progress. Unless we preach, we cannot progress. That's guaranteed. You have to tell people, you are the son of Krishna, who is full in opulence. Why are you rotting in this material world? This is the greatest service. Maya illusion is very strong, but it is the duty of every devotee of Krishna to try to enlighten everyone in Krishna consciousness. Kunti Devi, for example, first said that although Krishna, the Supreme Person, is within and without, to rascals and fools, he is invisible. Therefore, she points out, here is the Lord Krishna. Krishna is the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishnaya Vasudevaya. But he's very much pleased to become the son of Devaki, Devaki Nandanaya. Devaki Nandan is also mentioned in the Atharva Veda. Krishna comes as Devaki Nandan and his father is Nanda Gopa, Nanda Maharaj. Krishna likes to be related with his devotees who act as father and mother. Although here in the material world, we try to make our relationship with Supreme by accepting him as a father, Krishna wants to become the son. He takes pleasure in becoming the son of a devotee. Ordinarily, when we want God as their father, but that is not very pleasing to Krishna because the son always bothers the father. Give me this, give me that, give me this. So a devotee should want Krishna to be the son rather than as the father. Very interesting. Of course, Krishna has immense potencies by which he can supply as much as everyone wants. Eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. He supplies food to the elephant. He supplies food to the ant. So why not the human being? But rascals do not know this. They work like asses day and night to find bread. And if they go to church, they also pray, give me bread. They're concerned only with the bread problem. This is the main thing, right? People pray to God so that they can have more facilities, such as food, clothing, shelter, like that. Although the living entity is the son of the richest, most opulent person, he has created a bread problem. This is called ignorance. He thinks if I do not solve my bread problem, if I do not drive my trucks day and night, he's talking about the work that we do, right? Truck driver or office worker or factory worker. How can I live? This is the nonsense of our modern civilization. Where is the bread problem? Krishna can supply unlimited amounts of bread. There are thousands of elephants in Africa and Krishna supplies food to them. So if he can supply food to the elephants, why not the human beings? Therefore, the Bhagavatam therefore says Don't waste your time with this bread problem. Because if you go to Krishna, then the bread problem becomes secondary. He will already solve that for you. So he's talking about us. They work like asses day and night to find bread. That's what we are doing. Then you may say, oh, without that, how will I survive? But if we have that trust in Krishna's teachings, we would not be asking that question. We would simply fully surrender. But because we don't have trust, we are spending more time earning bread. Bread means what? Food, basically, like a livelihood. So this is Narada Muni says, Narada Muni? No, Prahlad Maharaj, one of them. Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido na labhyate ya brahmatamupari adyaha. We should not waste our time with solving economic problems. Right? So Krishna clearly, Srila Prabhupada clearly says, we should not waste our time with solving economic problems. Of course, there will be some basic amount of survival required. So some work is required. And that's why this whole Varnashrama system, living on the land, simple living, that has been propagated by Prabhupada. But of course, we are all struggling. We are unable to do that. We are unable to kind of proceed in that direction. Of course, and Prabhupada himself acknowledges this. Of course, this proposal is very revolutionary, and people may even hate me for it. What is Swamiji saying? They may ask. But actually, it is a fact. This economic development is madness. And in one point, Srila Prabhupada says that this is like fever. When fever comes, body temperature rises. Of body temperature is economic development. This car, that car, this building, that building. Suppose one has a rich father and enough food. Suppose one knows my father is the richest man in the city. Then where is one's economic problem? Actually, that is our position. We have no economic problem. Everything is completely provided. We want water. Just see, there are oceans of water. We want pure water, and although ocean has so much water, water is scarce and we'll have to take help from Krishna. Who will evaporate the water and turn it into clouds? So you're not evaporating, Krishna is evaporating. And then when the rain falls, the water will be sweet. Otherwise, we cannot drink it. So rainfall is also a mercy of Krishna. Everything is under control and everything, water, light, heat, and so on, is complete. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Remember what Prabhupada said. People may hate me for it because he's giving this revolutionary proposal that if you trust Krishna, everything will be automatically taken care of. We don't have to work like donkeys. The personality of God, it is perfect and complete. Because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of a complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though there are complete, so many complete units emanate from him, he remains complete balance. So in material mathematics, 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. In spiritual mathematics, 1 minus 1 is still 1. 1 minus 3 is still 1. 1 minus infinity is still 1. So it's very difficult for us to understand, because when the God is a supreme whole, from him, universe has come out, but his energy does not deplete. He's still there. So very difficult for us to understand. But it's a fact according to scriptures. Krishna's stock is never exhausted. We must simply become obedient to him and the supply will be there. A Krishna conscious person has no economic problem. Everything is supplied by Krishna. In Los Angeles, the neighbors of our temple are sometimes very envious. You do not work, because a lot of devotees, they became full-time. They became brahmacharis, joined the temple. And so these general people are very envious. You don't work and you're still surviving. You have no anxiety. You have 4 cars. You are eating so nicely. Right? In the temples, all these brahmacharis were selling books. And they would generate sufficient amount of Lakshmi to maintain the temple. And they would cook nicely for the deities, and then they will eat that as prasadam. So neighbors are thinking, Arey, you're so happy. How come? Actually, they are right, Prabhupada says. Some or the other, we are getting everything we need and we have no problems. For if one simply becomes a sincere servant of Krishna, everything is provided. I asked this to the temple president of Miami. How are you maintaining the temple? I don't see many people in the temple, so are you getting sufficient donations? He said, some or the other we are managing. So Krishna ensures that the basic things like paying the rent for the temple, paying the electricity bill, some or the other, and paying the boga, some or the other, it is getting arranged. So these neighbors, they are envious because we do not want to work, but we still have so much. But why don't they come join us? That is Prabhupada's request. That they will not do. Come with us, we say, chant Hare Krishna. No, that I cannot do. All right, then work with your trucks. By zooming around in their cars and trucks, they have made their own lives dangerous, and they have created danger for others also. At any moment, there may be an accident, but they say that this is civilization. Nonsense, Prabhupada says. This is not civilization. Civilization means calmness, prosperity, and shanti. In peace and prosperity, one should be Krishna conscious always. So first comes prosperity, then you are Krishna conscious, then more prosperity will come. Calmness, civilization means calmness. Civilized means not running here and there. Which is what we do. We run here and there. People work so hard day and night simply for a little food, not knowing that their food has already been provided. Avidya karma samyamya tritiya shaktir ishyate, Vishnu Purana. The material world is full of ignorance, avidya. Therefore, our endeavor should be to be free from this ignorance. It's only for this reason that we should work, to come out of ignorance. So, although from a spiritual perspective, work is not necessary, we work just to purify ourselves, coming out of this ignorance. We are thinking, I am this material body, I have to work day and night, and then I shall get my food, I shall live. This is ignorance. We have lived this life of ignorance in forms other than that of a human being. Like when we were in the cow body, a monkey body, we have been doing these activities anyways. We have lived in the bird life, in the beast life, and so on. But now, in this life, We should be peaceful, calm, and quiet. And should simply inquire about the absolute truth. Jivasya tattva jignasa athatho brahma jignasa. Vedanta Sutra, the first line is athato brahma jignasa. Jivasya tattva jignasa athato brahma jignasa. So as a living entity, we should understand the nature, tattva. And which tattva? Brahma jignasa. That should be one's occupation. So what is your occupation? You should not say, my occupation is computer science engineer. But occupation should be to inquire about Brahman. Jivasya tattva jignasa athato brahma jignasa. And some people have done it. It's not like they didn't do it. It's difficult, but they've done it. Nothing that is valuable comes cheap. You have to put effort. If it is valuable, then you have to put special effort. Prabhupada continues, we are simply sitting down and inquiring about Krishna. That is, sitting in the temple. This is what one should do. This is life. Why should one work day and night like an ass? What kind of life is this? No, this is not life. Therefore, the Bhagavatam says that one who is intelligent Kovida, your life should be engaged for this purpose, for understanding the absolute truth. Then how will my economic problem be solved? So the answer is that happiness one desires from economic development will come automatically in due course of time. Right? So that's why Prabhupada also said in the Varnashrama system, grow your own food. So don't be dependent on anybody. That's the thing. Right now we are in highly dependent stage. If we don't have Costco, all these shops, right? Safeway, then we don't know where to get the food from. But Krishna's point is, Prabhupada's point is, it will be solved. Which is via the whole farm community is growing your own food. Because ultimately, when you grow your own food, Krishna is only giving the food. Like you put a little seed and it just becomes a nice plant and gives many, many seeds. Tal labhyate dukkavad anyataha. We are looking for happiness. Are you looking for distress? No, sir. Then why does distress come upon you? If you're not eager for calamities and distress, why do they come upon you? Prabhupada asks. According to our karma, our life holds some portion of happiness and some portion of distress. Therefore, if distress comes without invitation, happiness will also come without invitation. Right? Sometimes, you may fall down, break a hand or leg, lose a job, this or that, or fall sick. So distress is coming, but it comes without invitation. Similarly, happiness will also come without invitation. You're already destined to have certain amount of happiness and certain amount of distress, and we cannot change that. The change we should make, therefore, is to get free from the material condition of life. So we have to get out of this material condition. We have been here for many lifetimes. That should be our only business. According to our karma, we sometimes taking birth in higher planetary systems as devatas or demigods. And sometimes taking birth as cats and dogs as germs in stool. So when you go to the bathroom, stool comes out, there'll be some germs in there. So sometimes we may be born as a germ in that stool. Sometimes we may be born as a devata, demigod. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, E rupe brahmanda bhramite kauna bhagyavan jiva. Guru Krishna prasade paye bhakti lata bija. So, brahmanda bhramite means you are going sometimes as a germ in the stool and sometimes as a devata. And you are Brahman. Brahman means you are traveling through this universe here and there. But Bhagyavan means somebody who is fortunate. Who is he? Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. By the mercy of the Guru and by the mercy of Krishna, we get that Bhakti Lata Bij. So, what is the meaning of this verse? According to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to upper planetary systems and some are going down to the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. So Bhakti Lata Bij means creeper. Lata means creeper. Bij means seed of Bhakti. So seed of creeper of devotional service. Only fortunate living being gets the opportunity to associate with Krishna and Krishna's devotee. In this way, he gets the seed of devotional service, the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, and the life becomes sublime. So a devotee gives the seed of devotional service. That is how we all got. We all got because we observed other devotees and that seed came into our heart. But now we should know what to do with that seed, how to grow the creeper. Kunti Devi therefore is pointing our attention towards Krishna, the Supreme Person who is Alakshya, invisible to all. Who is that invisible person? Hare Krishna. Oh Krishna, one may say there are so many Krishnas. Therefore, Kunti says, I am offering my prayers to Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva. So, are there so many Vasudevas? No. Nanda Gopa Kumaraya. I am praying to the foster son of Maharaj Nanda. So, people should not get confused. Oh, maybe there is some other Vasudeva somewhere. No. He is Nanda Gopa Kumaraya. In this way, she points out here is Krishna. Krishna officially takes the birth as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. But in his childhood, he enjoys the company of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. This is Krishna's pastime. Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya. Krishna's pastime are all jubilant. Anando Mayo Bhasyat. He is by nature full of bliss. We shall never find Krishna unhappy. Krishna is always happy. And whoever associates with him is also happy. Therefore, he is known as Govinda. The word go means senses. We are looking for sense gratification. Means our eyes, ears, we want to keep them enjoying. Eye by watching a movie, ears by hearing some music, tongue by tasting something. But when we associate with Krishna directly, then we also become happy. If we associate with Krishna, we shall enjoy our senses abundantly, just like the gopis who are dancing with Krishna. Thus, there is no scarcity of sense gratification. But this sense gratification, in association with Krishna, is not gross sense gratification. Rather, it is spiritual sense gratification enjoyed in the spiritual world. Ananda Chinmaya Sadujjvala Vigrahasya. That Ananda or pleasure is not the third class Ananda we enjoy with our bodily senses. Such bodily enjoyment is not Ananda but illusion. You are thinking I'm enjoying, but that Ananda is not factual. Because we cannot enjoy this material pleasure of senses for long, that is the reason. Because our material senses get tired also pretty soon. Everybody has experienced that this material pleasure comes to an end. It has a beginning and it has an end. Spiritual enjoyment, however, does not end, rather it increases. Ananda Chinmaya Sadujjvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Therefore, we have to associate with Govinda. Govinda, Govinda. Here it is also said, Govindaya Namo Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances to Govinda. The Krishna conscious movement is so sublime that it puts one directly in contact with Govinda. The worship of deity of Krishna in the temple is also direct contact with Govinda. Sri Vigraradana Nityanana Sringara Tanmandira Marjanado. This is what we recite in the morning, Mangalarti. Sri Vigraradana Nityanana Sringara Tanmandira Marjanado. Yuktasya bhaktam shaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam Sakshadharitu Vena Samasta Shastra Yuktastata Bhavyataiva Sadbhi Kintu Prabhurya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam, etc. The Vigraha, the deity of Krishna, appears by Krishna's mercy. Because Krishna is Alakshya, invisible, he becomes visible to give us the facility to see him. It is not that Krishna is stone, wood, or metal. Krishna is always Krishna. But because we cannot see anything beyond material elements like wood, stone, or metal, he appears in a form made of these elements. So it's not like Krishna is the stone deity, but Krishna comes in the form of the stone deity because we cannot see beyond material elements. But he is neither wood, metal, or stone. When we associate with the deity, we associate with Krishna personally. Because Krishna is invisible, he very kindly takes the form that is visible to us. This is Krishna's mercy. Do not think, oh, here is stone Krishna. Krishna is everything, and therefore Krishna is stone also. But he is not the kind of stone that cannot act. Even in the form of a stone or metal, Krishna can act as Krishna. And one who worships the deity will perceive that. Swayameva spuradyataha. The deity, although apparently stone, may speak with a devotee. There are many instances in which this has happened. It has happened in the case of Sakshi Gopal, many places. Now, Srila Prabhupada is talking about his disciples. I am very pleased, therefore, when my disciples nicely dress the deity, offer the deity nice foodstuffs, and keep the temple very clean. Sri Mandira Marjanadao. Marjana means cleansing. When one dresses Krishna or cleanses the temple, the spiritual benefit one receives is the same. So cleaning the temple or dressing the deity, same benefit. Or working in the front desk or doing Sankirtan, same benefit. So don't think, Srila Prabhupada is telling, I am only a cleanser and he is the dresser. No, the person who is dressing the deity and the person who are cleaning the temple are the same because Krishna is absolute. Therefore, one should engage in Krishna's service in any way and one's life will be successful. This is the Krishna consciousness movement. So we should do something for Krishna, either Nagar Sankirtan or working on the farm. Not everybody can become a Brahmana and do the deity service. There are only limited slots available. So not everybody can do that. So you have to pick some other service. There are enough services. By the grace of Kunti Devi, we can understand that Krishna Vasudeva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Vasudeva also indicates that Lord is understood when one comes to the platform of pure goodness, which is called the Vasudeva or Vishuddha Sattva. Now he is explaining a position above goodness, called pure goodness. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sabdhitam. This is Bhagavatam. To understand the Supreme Lord, we must first come to the platform of Sattva, goodness. But goodness here in the material world is sometimes contaminated by lower qualities of ignorance and passion. So how do you overcome that? We started the lecture by asking this question, how do you overcome anarthas? By hearing about Krishna, however, one comes to the platform of pure goodness. So hear about Krishna. Shrinvatam swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtanaha hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti sursatam. That is again Srimad Bhagavatam. We should try to hear and chant about Krishna always, 24 hours a day. And in this way, the dirty things will be cleansed from our hearts. So remember, Sheshadev, you said, we have to kind of remove the anarthas. It happens by hearing about Krishna. It is not that one should only attend a Bhagavata Saptaha. That's a fashion in India for 7 days. Like 1 week in 52 weeks, they will do Bhagavad Saptaha. Remaining 51 weeks, they do nonsense. And they say, I did Bhagavad Saptaha. No, all 52 weeks should be Bhagavad Saptaha. That is another form of exploitation, Prabhupada says. In the Bhagavatam, it is said, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam Bhagavata sevaya. The word nityam means daily, 24 hours a day. Nityam, always. One should always read Srimad Bhagavatam and carry out the orders of one's spiritual master. The word Bhagavatam may refer to the spiritual master or to the book Srimad Bhagavatam. So one should always serve the person Bhagavata or the book Bhagavata. Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Then one will be fixed immovably, naishtiki, in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada, as you can see, his commentaries are all extracts from other verses in the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. He doesn't make up any stuff. He'll say, this is what it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam. He will write that. So this one is also Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki tadarajas bhavo kamalo vatayasyaye. So everything is Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever he is quoting. In this way, one should realize the benefits of the Krishna consciousness movement by the prescribed spiritual process and try to distribute these benefits to other people. So you should learn, you should teach others. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says? Bharata Bhumilo Janma Hoyar Janma sarthaka karo, karo paropakar. First, you have to sarthak your janma. Means you have to improve your spiritual propensities. And then karo paropakar. Then you benefit other people. It's a two-step process. If you only take care of yourself, then it won't work. You have to give this to others. To awaken the dormant Krishna consciousness of others is the greatest welfare activity in the world. Not building hospitals, not this, not that. You can actually see that devotees who are not Krishna conscious 4 or 5 years ago have been awakened and now are Krishna conscious. Similarly, others can be awakened also. There is no difficulty. The process is the same. By following in the footsteps of devotees like Kunti, we shall be able to understand Krishna's identity. For example, we may ask a person's identity by asking, what is your father's name? So Srimad Bhagavatam presents God with his father's name, his mother's name, even with his address. Right? So in the Brahma Samhita, his address is given. Goloka eva nivasatya kilatma bhuto Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So his address is also given in the scriptures. He lives in Goloka. Goloka eva nivasati. Nivasati means where he lives. Akilatma bhuto. So we are all Atmas. He is Akilatma, means he is above all of our Atmas. So we are not impersonalists with vague idea of God. Like God is some kind of energy, like that. Impersonalists don't really understand who God is. If one takes advantage of the Krishna conscious movement, one can understand God perfectly and completely. So we should all take advantage of the Krishna consciousness movement. And before we die, we should understand who God is. God is not so cheap, like people think they know God, but actually they don't. Because it takes two things. One, our effort, and second is God's mercy. So for God's mercy to come, then you have to do something special for him. Then he will grant you his mercy. His mercy doesn't mean more money. It could also mean less money. So his mercy, he decides how to give. Questions, comments? Okay, let's chant.